Hello there, Vanagon addicts. It's Ken Wilford here at Vanagon. I am coming at you on Friday. It is the 30th of October, and I hope you guys are having a great day. We are having a great day here at Vanagon. Things are a little bit slow today, so we just wanted to come out and try to answer some of your Vanagon questions and talk about what's happening in the Vanagon world right now. So if you want to come out and join us today, hopefully people can come out with us and hang out for a while. I see Steve is here. Hi, Steve. Good to see you with us today. Anybody else want to come out with us today? We'll be able to talk about whatever's going on in your mind and answer your Vanagon questions. So one of the things I wanted to tell you guys is that we actually did buy a 86 Westphalia Vanagon recently. You know, I was kind of going through a dry spell of making videos, and one of the issues we had was that we didn't actually own. We had a van. We had one Vanagon left. It was in very bad condition, and it needs a ton of work. But you know, I didn't have like one that ran and drove and all that good stuff. And I had a lady contact me about a month ago, and she said, I'm in California, I have an 86 full Westie, I would like to sell it to you, and I would take a very reasonable offer for it. She's like, I have people here that want to buy it, they've talked to me about buying it, but I don't want to sell it to them, I want to sell it to you. So I was like, okay. I was kind of skeptical because I get some of these, people contact me from time to time, and sometimes it pans out, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm like, okay, just let me know when you're ready to. She's like, I'm going to be traveling from California to where you live in your area, and I will drive the van to you, and then you can give me what you think it's worth. So I'm like, okay. So yeah, it's about 2 weeks ago, I got an email. Guess what? I'm here. I'm in New Jersey. I'm actually basically 10 minutes from you. And I want to bring the van. She sent me pictures of it. I had told her what I could afford to give her for it. She said, yep, that sounds good to me. And so, long story short, I've got a full 86 Westie that is in decent condition. If you wanted it to be really, really nice, you would want to restore it. You would want to fix it up, paint it, and that kind of stuff. But as it is, I mean, it drove all the way from California without any breakdowns. Yeah, and it actually runs very well, and it has, it's in decent condition. It's in good enough condition. So, to me, if you wanted to use it as is, you could use it for a few years before you decided to, go the full resto route. Or if you, bought it, you could probably, I'm asking $16,000 for it, for an 86 automatic Westie. Like I said, it's in usable condition right now. And the cosmetic stuff that's going on with it isn't really that big of a deal. I mean, you could buy it as it is. You could use it for a couple years. You could sell it at the end of your use and most likely get all your money back. So you basically would be renting it for free for 2 years. I mean, I'm not saying you're not going to have any kind of, stuff as far as mechanical issues or whatever, but it's very solid, and it's got a rebuilt engine that's supposedly not that old. The transmission does have a couple small oil leaks, but that's about the worst of it. So it has a brand new set of tires on it. I haven't had a chance to check the brakes yet, but they were done not that long ago as well. The lady said she actually did about $6,000 worth of work to it in the last couple of years. So yeah, so that was kind of a nice story. And if you go on the Samba, you'll see it's on there for $16,000. It's gold, and it's in New Jersey. So I think it's like the only one in New Jersey right now if you go on there. I did also have another call, or actually more like an email this week, from a customer who was traveling in Thailand, and he is stuck there. And he was not traveling in his Vanagon and being stuck there. He was traveling, and then of course COVID-19 happened. When it happened to me, I was actually, or when this whole thing started happening, I was in the Bahamas, and in a way, I was like, man, I wish I could be stranded here, but but maybe if I was still there now, I would probably be like, I want to get out of here. But anyway, so we were in the Bahamas. We made it back in plenty of time. That was in March. This other customer, he is still stuck in Thailand. He cannot get out. And the bad part is he has a Vanagon high top that is in, I think, Massachusetts area, that is sitting at this shop that did a bunch of work on it, and they want it gone. They want it out of there, and he is stuck overseas. So he is trying to sell it very reasonably. I'm thinking about buying it, but I'm not totally sure, because basically all it is like a Karat van with a high top roof on it. I don't really know if they did anything else, besides just put a high top roof on it and that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So it's not a Westie. The amount of money he wants, I understand he has a bunch of money invested in it, but if I bought it, I would have to have it shipped down here from Massachusetts. That's going to be at least $1,000. I'm going to be buying it sight unseen, which is another, big no-no. And I haven't gotten burnt doing that, but it's just a matter of time. Okay? Because you never know. And I don't really know this guy. I think I sold him some parts before he went away on his trip. And he seems like a nice guy. I don't think he would intentionally try to put one over on me. But, at the same time, it's hard to evaluate something when you haven't actually seen it. You need to get it for like an amazing deal. You need to pretend like everything on it that you can imagine is broken. And then if it is, you're covered. If it isn't, then you got ahead of the deal. But that's the risk. You have to have a reward. So I see Oregon Expat. He says, hello from Germany. Hello, Oregon Expat. Welcome to the stream. If you guys have any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat. I'm just talking here about this situation. So anyway, this guy has a Vanagon, a blue Karat Vanagon in Massachusetts. Okay. He's asking about $12,500 for it, which could be a good deal. But here's the other problem I have, which it says the engine has 190,000 miles on it, and it's like the stock engine. So, again, this is another sign for me, because say, somebody might pay $20,000 for it. I don't really know what a high top conversion Karat is worth. The other issue is they had to cut a hole in the roof for this. I've never seen a Karat that had a sunroof, so I'm assuming they cut a hole in the roof. It wasn't a Westie, so they cut a hole in the roof. How good of a job did they do? I don't know. I don't have any interior pictures at all, but let's pretend I could get $20,000 for it. Okay, but the motor has 190,000 miles on it. Yeah, I'm basically figuring I would have to replace the engine, so that's like, my thing is, that's like $6,000. Okay, so you buy for $12,500, you put another $6,000 in it. I have to pay $1,000 to get it here, so that's $13,500 plus $6,000. See what I'm saying? I'm approaching $20,000 of just my money that I have in it, and that doesn't make any sense to me. If I could pick it up for $5,000, right, $6,000, something like that, then it would maybe it might make some sense. I don't even know. I might only be able to get $16,000 for it. I have no clue what it's worth. This man has a lot of money in it, but that doesn't mean that it's worth a lot of money. I was just watching this thing yesterday. They had another article about these houses in Italy that you can buy for €1. Okay, and some people are jumping on it, like, oh my gosh, a house for €1, and it's in, on the Mediterranean and all this other stuff. But the problem you have to understand is getting that house back to being livable condition, right? It might cost you $200,000. Just one person said, yeah, they spent $250,000 on their house getting it back. And this other lady said, yeah, I have homes over there. None of them are worth that much if you go to sell them. If you want to do it for you, then whatever, I guess, and money's no object. But she's like, doesn't make much sense when you could buy a nice house that's already finished for $60,000. So why would you spend $250,000 to rehab an old house that, you could just buy a house that's already done, move into it for 80 or 60. Okay, so you have to weigh things. Oregon Express says make him an offer. I'm thinking about doing that. I'm thinking about making him an offer. I feel bad because he's, over a barrel being stuck in Thailand because of COVID. I mean, it's not really my fault or anything. The other issue I have is I just bought this other Westie. So, I hate to, get too many, plates spinning in the air at a time. And I kind of met somebody on here. It's like, hey, I'm in Massachusetts, and I've been looking for a high-top Karat Vanagon. So, hey, I'll put you in touch with this guy, okay? But, like I said, the problem you have is you just don't, there's too many unknowns. I had another customer of mine. He calls me occasionally. He's always looking for another van to buy. Do I know why? I don't know why. He has 2 Karat vans right now. And one of them, another customer down in Maryland contacted me. They needed to sell it. They were going to sell it for cheap. And they just wanted it out of their yard. It had been sitting for a couple years. And I had been selling them parts for years and years for this car. I mean, they were customers of mine for probably 15 years. So I kind of knew, some of the parts that they had put on it, I thought it was going to be in decent condition. So I told this other customer about it. He bought it. When he got it, he said, this thing is in bad condition. It had lots of problems and issues, and it also, had, had been sitting for a couple years, and there was the sap that was on it that was hard as a brick. Could not hardly get it off. I mean, just a lot of problems, and, again, you're doing it sight unseen. He was in Martha's Vineyard, and the van was in Maryland. He didn't go down there and look at it. He just took this other person's word for it. And, I don't really feel super bad because this guy is kind of he's definitely a Vanagon addict, so he has, he's a Vanagon addict. He will buy a Vanagon. Even if I was not involved in the situation, he would buy it. But, yeah, so he, since then, he bought it for, say $3,000. Then he put another, $5,000 or $6,000 into it. Now he's got a decent van. Maybe it's worth what he's got. So it might be. We don't know. So Oregon Expect said there's a lot of requirements on those houses. You need to live there. They're worth more than nothing. But you need to just not repair it. You need to bring money into the town. Yeah, they have a lot of things you need to fix. You need to work on that house. And you need to. Oh, we're having some kind of streaming issue. Give me 1 second here. I don't know what it's doing. It's saying there's a okay, we're having issues with our upload. He just bought a TriStar the week before that. Lots to do. Yeah. So, yeah, these houses, I mean, there's all kinds of restrictions. You have to fix it up within a certain amount of time. And you have to bring it up to, local code and standards and things. All that stuff. And the other bad part is you're doing it in these small towns in Italy. So, yeah, who are you going to be getting to do the work? Most likely you're going to be getting, there's probably only going to be 1 or 2 contractors in that area that can do the work. And so, yeah, are you going to be able to get them to do your work before they do somebody else's work? And in the time constraints, it's very iffy. It's very iffy. So Oregon Expat, he bought a TriStar. That's sweet. I have never owned one of them, but one of these days I would like to actually just at least own a Doka. That would be nice, or a Senka, but probably a Doka would be better. So if you have a nice Doka and you're like stranded in Thailand, just give me a call. Okay, because I'd be definitely would if somebody said $12,000 for that. Yeah, I might do that. And if you're interested in buying an '86 Westie it's got a secondary battery. It's got a bigger than normal propane tank, which I've actually never seen before. That looks pretty much new. You can use it right now. If you scraped some, if you scraped it on some branches going down a path somewhere, you wouldn't care, because the paint is already got that kind of patina to it already. Yeah, I know what they're trying to do. I mean, to be honest with you, I wish we could do the same thing here in South Jersey where I am. What happened in Italy, what I understand, is about like in the 60s, there was a lot of earthquakes, and people left, and they actually came here to the U.S. to get jobs and things, and there was hard getting jobs in Italy back then, so a lot of people left, and so now, yeah, they're trying to get people to come back, and some of the people that are coming back are actually the descendants or whatever of the people that left, so it's kind of a win-win for them, and they get tax money and stuff. I mean, I wish we could do that here, because there's a lot of abandoned places here since the whole banking meltdown thing in 2008. There's a lot of empty places, and instead of selling them for $1 and getting people to come in and do things, they're just letting them rot into the ground, basically. It's kind of sad. Alright, so Oregon Expat says he's in Germany. He picked it up for $6, but it's not running. So like 6,000, I'm imagining. 6,000 euros. Now, what I had heard in Germany is that they have restrictions about older vehicles can only go into certain parts of town, like certain cities, I guess. They can't go. They have stickers that is telling like the emissions, okay, of the vehicle. And if you don't go up to a certain emissions level, like a newer car, you can't actually drive it in certain parts of town. Does that sound like... Do I know anything? Okay. I mean, I was told this by a person who was living there. He was living in Germany. And he told me that at the time, he started parting out a lot of Vanagons because they were getting taken off the road because of this issue. So you could... Oh, okay. No, not correct. Well, okay. Well, I mean, I don't have to be right. This is just hearsay on my part. So if you can tell us, I mean, if you buy a Vanagon, say you buy a 91, and you can just drive it anywhere, and the emissions are not a problem. Okay. I guess my guy that was telling me that didn't know what he was talking about. Or maybe, maybe he was living in Sweden instead of Germany, and maybe that's what the confusion is. I don't know. Maybe Sweden is more stricter than Germany. But anyway, I want to get over there myself one of these days and see what Germany's like. Been talking to my wife about it for a while. And hopefully we'll get over there one of these days. By the time I get over there, all the Volkswagen factories will be... Okay, any year that doesn't meet standards can't. Okay. Yeah, and by the time I get over to Germany, it's going to be... Volkswagen's going to be making all-electric vehicles. And there's not going to be any... regular vehicles left. I don't know. I want to go to the Wolfsburg, factory thing, which is like, I don't know if you've ever seen anything about it, but it's basically like Disney World for Volkswagen people. And it looks pretty amazing to me. They even have a car vending machine, which would be amazing. Alright, so what's going on in the parts world right now? Actually, things are doing pretty good. A lot of stuff was getting down to the bare minimum back in August, September, but things are starting to come back up, like stock levels, being able to get stuff from different suppliers, so things are looking a lot better that way. The downside is that the prices are fluctuating. And okay, I see. Yeah, see, they do that same thing here in the U.S. He says once they are over 30, though, you can get an H plate and drive anywhere. That's basically like they're like a classic or something like that. And in New Jersey, we have a very similar, similar rule here where it gets over a certain age, they don't really care about the emissions anymore. So anyway, let me keep going. Somebody's calling me. What was I talking about? My mind went blank. Oh, we're talking about the part situation. So the problem that's happening now is the prices are kind of being a little bit volatile. So like, say if I need to get a full set, okay, of window seals. Okay, now we have them. I actually have full sets of Vanagon window rubber. Okay, I have the regular sets, and I have the ones that have that allow for the copper stuff, or not the copper, the chrome stuff in them. We have both of those. Okay, in stock. But the problem you have is that the cheaper people that I would normally buy it from, that's not who I can get it from right now. Okay, or this month. Now maybe next month that'll be different. But right now, this month, I can't get it from the cheaper people. So what's been going on is like a lot of the other part sites that I know of have just been saying that they're out of certain parts. Okay, they're out of this part, they're out of that part. When you could easily get it. So why are they saying they're out of it? Well, because I feel like it's because they have to sell it at this certain low price point. Okay, this is what they have basically been selling it for years at this low price point. They can't increase the price because their customers will be upset or mad, or they have like a container of stuff coming in of the cheap stuff, the cheap price point stuff, but it's taking forever to get through customs. Believe me, I had an air freight thing that took over a month to get through customs this summer, so I can definitely feel your pain. I can't imagine, and that was like $3,000 worth of stuff. I can't imagine having like a $20,000 container sitting in customs for months and months. Yep. It seems like the more money you have in a shipment, the slower customs goes. Maybe because there's more items in there? I don't know. So anyway, what I try to do when we get parts, I try to make sure I have the parts. Okay, it's one thing to say, this part is really cheap. And then the person says, oh, I want that. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, when are you going to get it? Well, I'll have it in 6 months. Okay, what good does that actually do you? I mean, to me, I don't want to wait 6 months. I want to get it when I need it. Okay, so for me, I will get it even if I have to pay more than what I normally pay, but then I will raise the price on the website. Okay, but the problem comes in where people say, to me, they say, hey, do you have, say, these window seal kits? I say, yes. And they're like, oh, I'm so shocked because I went here, nobody's got it. And they won't have it for a month or 2 months. And my van is fixing to get painted, and I need it right away. I'm like, well, we got you covered. Then, okay, so they're all excited. Oh, yay. Okay, so then they say, well, will you price match this other company? Because they're $20 less than you, and somehow their shipping is less than us, which, I don't know how that can be because we basically charge what we pay for shipping. And sometimes it's actually winds up being less. And, I'm not Amazon, so I don't get like the super amazing deal from, the post office or UPS or whatever, because I ship like $10 billion worth of stuff every year. I mean, I don't know who people think I am, but I'm not that. They're like, do you have free shipping? I'm like, no, sorry. Maybe if Vanagon parts could, generate $10 million of sales in a year, then I could have free shipping, but no. I just try to be fair about it. And then as far as the parts go, they say, well, can you match this price? I'm like, do they have it in stock? No. I'm like, I don't do that. Okay, because, like I said, the problem, the reason why they don't have it in stock, partially is because of the low price. And they won't raise it. Don't ask me why they won't raise it. Because I'm telling you, I'm looking at my supplier here in the U.S. for window seals. They have every window seal. They have 30 of them. Okay? So, and I can buy from them. My suppliers can buy from them too. And I know they do. So then why don't they have any? Okay? Because they won't buy from that U.S. supplier because they're getting it from their other suppliers. They're getting it cheaper so they can sell it at this cheaper price point. Okay? But they don't have it for 6 months. So there's always a balance. So for me, my balance is have it when people need it. Right? And people call me all the time like, I need this particular part, nobody else has it. I'm like, I got it. Okay? But at the same time, I can't give it to you at that lower price sometimes. Now sometimes I can because I got it at a good price, even though it's hard to get. You see what I'm saying? Hard to get and low prices, they don't really go together most of the time. Okay, I'm sorry, this is the way it is, okay? Supply and demand, and sometimes it's not even that. It's like there's this one place has 2, this one place has 1, this one place has 1, and I'm basically scavenging it from all these places so I can get it. And I'm paying like a ton of money for shipping because I have to buy it that way, scavenge here. How can I sell it cheap? Okay. So, yeah, so Single Rail Industry says hi. I say hi to you. How you doing? And tell me where you're at. That would be nice. Oregon Expat says we can't get some things in Germany. They're just not available. Yeah, I understand because I sell stuff to Germany quite a bit. We sell items to Germany. It is kind of funny, though, because a lot of times it's an item that I bought from a Germany supplier, and then we turn around and send it back to Germany. And the people in Germany tell me they cannot get it there. So I don't know. Why would they sell it to me and not to you? I don't know. Okay. So this is where we're at. Okay. What I try to tell people is comparison shop before, right, you purchase something. If you want to get on if you want to get on the bad side of a vendor, okay, I will tell you exactly how to do it. All right, you ready? You're going to go to Bad Side of a Vendor 101. You go on their website. You buy an item, okay, and then about an hour later you call them back and you say, hey, this other site has this for cheaper. Will you match their price? And I say, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Okay, well, cancel my order and refund my money and I'll buy at this other place. Okay. Okay. But sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes I say, well, they don't have any in stock right now, but their price is this. And that doesn't factor in the fact that if you go to that other site, you're going to be paying sales tax. If you go to that other site, they're going to be paying more money in shipping. Okay? So, they don't tell you that stuff. It's like, well, this part costs this much money on their site. I've had one guy, I've did this a few times, and sometimes it actually works out for me. Because this person is like, well, on this one site, and this one guy does like a spreadsheet. Like, I don't even like to answer the phone when he calls. Because he'll do like $100 order, and he'll price out every single part, okay, which is fine. And he'll price out every vendor. Then he puts it on a spreadsheet. He says, well, this has this price, this company has this price, this company has this price. He's like, this is all the cheapest prices cherry-picked out of everywhere. Now you have to match it all. And he doesn't even, it's very irritating. It takes me a lot of extra time to deal with him that I don't have to deal with on other people. If he wants to do that, then do it. Go to this site, buy this. Go to this site, buy this. But see, he won't do that because then he's going to be paying more in shipping. So, if you want to, I have tons and tons of great customers, treat me amazing. and I'm not complaining about any of you guys. You're the best. Okay? But, you know, when you have a thing where, see, I'm not Amazon, I'm not Walmart. Okay? And it's not about price. Okay? It is and it isn't. I try to be as low as I can be and be competitive and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, like I said, if you spend hours and hours and hours sourcing this, trying to actually find it, you know, and you get it and you have it ready for people and it's there and they're like, oh, I can't find it anywhere else. And then, you know, once you tell them, oh, I got it, then they're going to try to bargain, right? They're bargaining with you. What? No. Because that just ticks me off. Okay, I'm sorry. But I'm just letting you know, it's not nice. Okay? If somebody is... For me, I'm trying to have this stuff here so people have their van, they're on the road, they're broke down, they can enjoy it, they can keep using it, you know, get back on the road, get going again. Okay? That's my goal. Okay? The money allows me to do that. Okay? The money allows me to be here to do that. If I wasn't making any money, right, I was just doing it, and I was like doing it the way a lot of people think that businesses should be run, where you don't make anything. Like, you know, they talk about, oh, socialism and all stuff. Some people in this country already think that we have that, which is, like, the person can get paid. Okay, like, say you're a lawyer, you can make $350,000 or $350 an hour. Okay, because you went to school, you got a piece of paper that says you're a lawyer and you can earn that money, maybe even more than that. Okay, but me as a store owner who isn't making anywhere near that money, okay, just to be honest, I have to make nothing. Okay, and if I make any money whatsoever, they get upset and mad and angry. And I'll tell you what I mean, because sometimes, in order to help out a customer and get them a part super fast, okay, I will drop ship it to them from a supplier, and occasionally, somehow, the receipt gets in the box that is my price that I paid for it, okay, and they will call me up. They will call me, I'm so mad. I'm like, why are you mad? Because I found out how much you paid for this, and I'm really upset right now. And I could have bought it myself from this place and got this price, and, you know, instead you just sent it from them, and now I'm really mad. And I'm sitting there going, well, here's the thing. Did you know to get it from them? No. Okay. Did you know that that one that they sold is actually any good whatsoever? Because there's tons of places out there where you can buy things, and that doesn't mean that it's actually any good. No. But you charged me, you know, $20 more than I would have bought it from them, or even more than that. $30, $40. I just get so angry and mad. And I'm sitting there going, so if you don't know how much I'm making on it, you're fine with it. But if you find out how much it is, then I'm ripping you off. Okay? Because, to be very honest with you, the stuff that we don't drop ship like that, the stuff that we, you know, source from Europe and get it in and do this and do that, you know, we're making way more on that as far as our percentage and all this other stuff. The drop ship stuff is really more for, like, convenience, to try to help that person get that really, really fast. Okay? So that's mostly for the customer, to help them get it fast. And so I'll try to talk to the customer. I'll be like, listen, did you get it really fast?
Yes.
They get all depressed.
Yes.
Did you get exactly what you wanted? Yes. But, right, I could have bought it from them. They keep going back to this argument. Okay? So, alright, I'll tell you what happens. Right? What do you think happens the next time they need something? Right? I mean, my best case scenario is they don't call me again. Okay? Because I don't want to have to deal with this. I'm sorry. Like Oregon Expat says, it's called markup, live with it. Yes. Okay. I've spent 21 years learning where the stuff is, who to get it from, right? The best price to get it. The people that's going to ship it fast. The people that's reliable, that you can count on to get it from. All this stuff. Okay? And whenever something happens, I have to weigh all this stuff and then do it the best I can for the customer to get it to them as fast as possible, as the best one they can get, all that stuff. That's all kind of like just stuff that I do automatically because of my experience. Okay? I mean, that's worth something. That's worth something. But when people get into this mindset and they say, oh, you ripped me off because you actually made money on this part that I got, and I can see how much you made, and it's money. Oh boy, it's money. Okay? I mean, one customer in Canada said, oh, money's tight here right now. Money's tight here right now, and you got to give me back every dollar that you made on this. You have to give me it back as a refund. I mean, how is that fair at all? I had to spend time typing that order in. That's worth something, time, right? Just that. He didn't want to give me anything. Like, not even $10. If you got DoorDash come to your house, you're going to give that fool $7. I just did it today, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay? And he didn't want to give me anything. And then the next time he calls, I'm supposed to jump. Nope. Okay? So, have realistic expectations. Okay? Understand part suppliers like me and the other vendors that's out there, we're not getting rich. If we wanted to get rich, we would be doing something else. I'd be selling Jeep parts. Okay? I'd be selling, every single part under the sun. I'd be an AutoZone or something like that. I'd be the CEO of Pep Boys or something. I'd be doing something else, but I don't want to do that stuff. Okay? I don't want to do that stuff. I want to help. I want to be here for you guys. I love this community. So that's who I want to be here for. And, these people, thankfully, are a very rare exception, right? A very rare exception. So, most of the people are super understanding about stuff. Sometimes people will find out what I pay for stuff, and they won't say anything. Like, probably most of the time. They won't say anything because they probably think, hey, you know what? He's got to make a living. I want to, next time I have a problem, I have somebody call on the phone. I mean, the other thing, you guys, a lot of you folks know, and because you've experienced it, is that you call me on the phone or you send me an email about a problem that you're having, and I help you with it, help you fix it, and I don't sell you any parts, okay? And that's fine, right? Or we may make the YouTube videos, helps people fix their van, okay, without them having to buy any parts, okay? That costs something to do that. To be here, to answer the phone, to be here, to answer the text message, to answer the instant messaging on the website. I mean, I got people instant messaging me on Saturday, Sunday, in the daytime, in the nighttime. They have a breakdown, they have a problem. Guess what? I usually pick up. Especially if I know they're having a breakdown and they need help on the weekend or something, I'll pick up, sure, to help them out. And, but that's gotta, I gotta have money. I gotta be able to live for that, to have that. So, yes, Oregon Expat says, convince costs money. How is it again? Cheap, fast, or good? Pick two. Okay. I mean, it's true. With Walmart, you have convenience and you have cheapness. Okay. But a lot of times you don't have the quality level. But some people are happy with cheapness and convenience. So, yeah, I mean, and, if you knew how much the stuff cost Walmart, Some items they're barely making anything, and some items they're making a lot off of. Okay, but you don't have access to, you know, who they're buying it from, and you don't have access to the volume level they're doing, all this stuff. So, you know, you have to, like, just understand, hey, Walmart is making money. That's good, because the next time I need something at Walmart, I can go in there. They have tons and tons of stuff everywhere, and I can just grab something and get out and get on with my life. Okay, you know, I've never really liked haggling. I had a friend of mine who would go to the grocery store, get to the checkout. Now, he would buy probably like $1,000 worth of groceries at a time. Okay, he would buy a lot. And he would get to the checkout, and then he would haggle with the checkout people or the manager about the cost of the stuff. Okay, now he was buying it for this camp they were doing, and everybody knew him and knew this was going to happen, but he liked that. He liked the haggle part of it, you know. I don't really like that. Okay, I like saying, hey, this is how much it is, buy it or don't buy it. Right? And there you go. Okay, so, you know, Steve says, I used to sell computers on the side to fund my hobbies. I warranted used computers, and if people try to haggle with me, I've asked for no haggling. I just drop them. Yeah, yep. I mean, I normally don't do it. I usually give people a few chances, right? I mean, if they're being nice about it, they're like, hey, do you do this? Would you do this for me this particular time? I'm low on funds or whatever. You know, I could do something like that to help somebody out. But if it's just going to be like every single time, and, you know, sometimes I know this person. This one customer is an ACLU lawyer, right? An ACLU. Another customer was a very wealthy person that had, you know, properties all over the East Coast and that kind of stuff. It's like, really? But you're going to try to, you know, he did this thing where he would get you to do work on his van and get it totally done and completed, and then he would try to negotiate. He would say, oh, that's too much money. After he knew how much it was going to be, he signed off on it as far as verbally. He didn't sign any papers, okay? I was young and stupid at the time. And then once it was all, this is too much. I could have got it done here cheaper. I could have got it done there cheaper. And, you know, this is a man that came to our shop one day on Labor Day out of the blue. We were having our cookout. We invited him to the cookout. He hung out with us, okay, that day and everything, being all super nicey nice. And then when it came time to pay his bill, he starts doing this stuff about, oh, that's too expensive. I could have did it here cheaper. I could have did it there cheaper. And after he did that to me like 2 times, I refused to answer the phone when he called. I haven't talked to him in probably almost 20 years. The hysterical part is, every 2 or 3 years, he actually will try to contact me again. He like refuses to realize what the actual problem is. That he has a problem. Okay, this guy's probably a millionaire, and yet he tries to like rip people off that does good work for him. I don't understand people like that. So anyway, all right. So we've got Peter Benici. He is calling on from Aussie land. Okay, down under. And that was probably the worst Australian accent you've ever heard in your life. So it's good to have him with us today. He was talking to me a few weeks ago about Australia and the virus stuff and things down there, all the lockdowns and whatnot, and how much people are suffering down there because of the lockdowns. It's bad. Okay, it's bad. Then we got Daniel DeSimone here, bought the manual. Best investment ever. Working on installing all the new parts purchased from Vanagon, a little at a time. Thanks, Ken. Yeah, thank you, Daniel. You know, we appreciate that. We appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it seems like the customers that are the more wealthier, you have the gamut. I've had wealthy customers that were super generous and were like, hey, there is no limit on this, you know, money is no object on this project. Just do everything. Okay, I've had a few customers like that. They're nice. You actually feel kind of weird. They're like, there's no limit on this? What about, I want to, you know, how about this? No, just do it. I don't care about the money. It doesn't even matter to me at all. But then you have like I said, the few people who are very wealthy, and yet they're trying to, get more wealthy by by messing you over. I don't understand. And they just make everybody mad. I mean, that one day the guy was here with the Labor Day cookout. I'm like, he doesn't have any place else to be. Probably because he ran all his friends off. Yeah, Steve. I mean, I do the same thing. Okay, I do the exact same thing. When I'm going to buy something, it's a big purchase like a TV or a vehicle or this or that. I spend a lot of time online looking around, trying to find the best deal for that one item, like a big purchase, And, like a stove or a refrigerator or something like that. I'll spend a few weeks, thinking about it and which one I want and the price I want to pay and all that stuff. Okay? But if I need, parts for my car, I don't really do that. I just, look. If I can find it locally and it's at a place that I know part of it is about convenience. So if Yep. All right, we'll do this one. And yeah, sometimes it's about convenience, like it's local Napa, and I need a part for like a Kia or something like that, or a newer Jetta or Golf or something, and they have it or they can get it by the afternoon. I'll just buy it from them. It's more expensive. Whatever. I don't really care. It's about getting it like right then, okay, or getting it that day so I can get this car back on the road and get it out of here, okay. But so it's up to you. Like I said, I don't mind people asking questions, okay? And sometimes there's a cheaper version of a part. Like if they say, hey, it's all about price, I don't really care how good it is. Like I'm going to sell this car in a week or something, then I'll say, hey, I can get this really, really cheap version of this that you can slap it on there and kiss that thing goodbye, And they're happy, I'm happy. I don't. But to me, I like to buy or get the best quality thing I can get. And not everything's perfect, but we try. And because we sell so much stuff, it's it was a bad accent. All right, so Steve is saying they are finally out of lockdown. Compulsory face mask under 20 COVID cases a week. So that's good. That's good. Daniel says, I'm poor and I don't care what it costs to keep my van running. My wife's opinion is slightly different. Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. I've talked about that a few times. I mean, if you're going to be a Vanagon owner, you really need to get your wife on board with you. If she's not on board, right? Happy wife, happy life. And some of them it's the exact opposite. Like this lady I bought this Vanagon from, she was the one that loved it. She was the one that, wanted to keep it and stuff. But, she wasn't using it. She's like, I need to get it to somebody else who's going to love it and use it and that kind of stuff. So, we as customers have been on the receiving end. Nothing sucks more than waiting for a part and when it shows up it doesn't fit or it breaks. Yes, this is one of the reasons why I started my business. We had a local foreign car place here, okay, in my area. I'm not going to say who it is. And when you went into that shop, they were basically Volkswagen specialists, but they sold everything foreign because they actually had a store. They had to support a storefront. I understand, okay. But when you would go in there, they would give you dirty looks. Okay, now I kind of understand that if it was your first time going in there, maybe you looked like scruffy or something, you just crawled out from under your car and you needed a part and you couldn't, didn't. I kind of understand that. Okay, maybe. I mean, I don't do that to people, but these people. So you get these dirty looks. I mean, dirty looks. So then you go up to the counter. I need this particular part. They'd be on the computer. Okay, I can get it in a week. Okay, and then, the price is going to be, whatever it is. I'm like, yes, I need it. Please get it. So they would get it. They would order it. It would come to their store. it would call you up and say it came in, or you would call them. Did it come in? Yes, it just came in. Go over there, get it, bring it home, go to put it on. Probably at least 50% of the time it would be wrong. Okay, at least 50% of the time it would be wrong. It would be the wrong one. Okay, and you have to take it back up to the store. Exchange it. They say, okay, we can send that back. Get the other one. Be another week. And on top of all that, they never apologized for anything. They never, they were not nice people. And yet they were the biggest, foreign car parts selling place they're around for years and years. And that's fine, but I saw that model and I said, you know what? I can definitely do better than that. I mean, I can order parts from my supply, exact same one they were getting it from, by the way, one of them. And I can get it here in a day. Okay, so why was it taking them a week? I don't know. They were probably waiting until they got a certain amount of parts to do an order. I don't do that. I buy stuff when I need it and get it here and get it out the door as fast as possible. So I said I can definitely get it faster than them. As far as the attitude, I can be nicer to people than they are, and people probably will like that and appreciate that, and it's just, yeah, so I think they're going out of business. They actually aged out, though. Local people still supported them for years and years, and when you talk to people about it, they all had the same experience, but they're like, oh, I try to support local businesses. I'm like, okay, I understand. Okay, I understand. It didn't matter what was made, they would break it for you, yeah. Yeah, I mean, and the other part is the father that ran it. I mean, he was a Volkswagen tech for like 20 years, 30 years. He knew his stuff, but it just, I don't know. I don't understand what was happening there. It was a dysfunctional family. I'll tell you a funny story about them. I've never had any good experiences with them. I needed a part for my Caddy pickup truck, okay? And I think I needed a motor. I think that's what it was. Well, they had 2 or 3 out back behind a fence that were parts trucks. And so I called them up. I said, hey, man, I need a motor for a diesel, Rabbit truck, Caddy. What do you guys have? He's like, well, we got 2 back there. They had one guy there that was real nice with this one son. He was nice. He's like, got a couple back there. And, I think we want $600 for the motor. And it runs good and all stuff. I'm like, well, can you get it up and running, and I'll come listen to it run, and then if it sounds good, I'll buy it. He's like, yeah, we'll do that. I'm like, okay, so when should I be over there? It's like, this afternoon, like 3 o'clock. So I'm like, okay. So I was like, hey, man, maybe I'll actually have a good experience with them for once. Okay, for once. So got up there at 3 o'clock. I mean, this was like 6 hours later or something. Got up there at 3 o'clock. He's like, come to the back fence door and just come in and stuff. Came in. No one had did anything to this car. I mean, this is a parts car. It's sitting there, has no battery in it, whatever. They hadn't did anything. So I got there. They're scrambling. Oh, let me get a battery. Okay. So they went and got a battery. They tried putting that in. They couldn't get it to even crank over. Then this other brother, who was never nice, always mean and nasty, he's running out. You aren't getting this part of this truck. You aren't getting this part. I'm getting the tail lights. I got this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. You're not buying any of that stuff. I'm like, I'm just here to see about the motor, and we can't even get the car to crank over. So I'm not even buying that. And I just left. I don't understand. They told me it was going to be ready to be listened to. It was not ready, And then the other brother's being all rude about it and stuff. I'm like, chalk up another one. Chalk up another one. All right, so we got Steve Barry coming on here. He says, UK T25 owner, DF engine, okay, Solex 32 PIC 5 carb. Engine runs fine on LPG. Cannot get it to run below 2,000 RPM on petrol. Feels like the engine is starved of fuel. Wow. Okay. Don't have much experience with LPGs. Now, is it set up to run on LPG like a conversion? Are you just kind of running off of that as kind of like a starting fluid or something? I need a little bit more information here. Can't get it over 2,000. I mean, it's definitely a carburetor issue, I would think. But yeah, I'm not sure. I thought if you're gonna run it on LPG, all the time, it has a special kind of carburetor for that. But I don't know. I guess Steve tried to give me some more information. He says, "Yeah, I have the option to run." Okay, wow, very interesting. He's cleaned the main jet, every orifice with the carb, refitted, and still the same issue. I mean, I've messed with the Solex carbs, the 34 Pick 5. The ones I usually get, right? It's like a 2-barrel carb, if I'm remembering correctly. The ones I usually get are like, the new ones you can get are like China ones that you can buy. They're not super cheap. But I've had them before where I've just bought another one, or maybe try to get a rebuilt one. In the UK, are they using the gasoline with the ethanol in it, or just straight gasoline? In the US, we have a lot of problems with ethanol gas and carburetors, because the ethanol gums up, the carburetors, and I really don't like carburetors that much anymore because of that, unless you can run pure gas with no ethanol in it. Yeah, fuel pressure. I mean, the fuel pressure on a carburetor thing is very low, like less than 10 psi, So usually that's not it, I wouldn't think. Can't get around 2,000. Yeah, probably. I mean, for the gas, are you running an electric fuel pump, or are you running like the diaphragm one? Because, it could be that diaphragm pump maybe isn't giving you enough volume. You should be able to check for volume, pretty easily with just take the hose off the side of the, where the fuel's coming into the carb, put it into like a bottle, like a soda bottle or something, and then run it for so many seconds until your soda bottle gets halfway full. You don't go crazy. So say it's half a liter or something, over so many seconds. I think there should be some specifications in the Bentley for that, where your X amount, like your fuel deliveries has to be so much, liters or milliliters or whatever, a second or a minute. You can kind of extrapolate that out. So that might be something to check. So Steve says he has a diaphragm pump. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely check. Oregon Expat has good advice on that maybe it could be, a fuel delivery problem. There's like a little rod in there that's pushing, I think it's off of a lobe on the camshaft. It's pushing that rod up and down. Maybe that rod is worn or something, and it's not pushing it enough. That's what Oregon Expat is suggesting. I mean, my thing with carbs is a lot of times, by the time I'm fooling with them, I put a small electric fuel pump on there so that it's got just like a constant pressure. I don't really deal with the diaphragm pumps. Over here, we really, on the Vanagons, we never see carburetors. I have one local customer that has a van that's from Ireland originally, and I keep telling him, I want to see this car. I want this car, bring this car here, okay? I think it's like a high top joke or something from Ireland, and it has a carb on it. It has a bug engine in it, basically. Alright, so low grade LPG leaves a syrupy sludge. Stars the motor after time. Yeah, could be. Yeah, what happens when... Yeah, that's the thing. Fuel pump. Next to look at. I did have a new fuel tank fitted. Okay, back in March. Yeah, so when it runs on LPG, does it run weird? Or does it... So he says it runs good on LPG. That's what his previous comment says. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of strange. Yeah, so, I mean, if it's running good on LPG, you would think that would mean the carburetor is fine. But if it's running, yeah, so it does really sound like it could be the pump for the fuel pressure. So that would definitely be what I would check, is the pump. Because if the LPG is working good, that means your carburetor itself, like at least the parts that the LPG is going to use. Like I'm pretty sure the LPG, there's like this unit on top of the carburetor that's, kind of spraying it into. It's almost like you would think about having, like when you try to run a car off of starting fluid and you spray that as a mist, and then the car will actually run off of that, even if there's no gas, coming into gasoline coming into the carburetor. You could run the car off of, spraying the starting fluid in there. So the LPG, there's like this unit on top of the carburetor that's basically doing that, except it's spraying in LPG, spraying in, liquid, spraying in the gas, the liquid propane in there. And, as it's spraying it in there, it's really just using the carburetor, like the throat and the, the plates and everything in there as a metering system to mix the air with LPG. It's not like the carburetor, the gasoline part, which is using, the float and the other things in there. So I hope I tried to explain that. I'm not an expert on this at all. Okay, I'm not an expert on this at all. I know the fuel injection system's great. I know some of the carburetor stuff. I've never worked on an LPG/gas. Yeah, I run pretty good on rum too. Okay. Yeah, so I guess, Steve, check that fuel pump, see what you find out. Let us know. We're going to try to have another live stream next week. Okay, so we can talk about stuff again next week. But it's been an hour, guys, so we're going to cut it off here. We appreciate you guys being out with us today. We had a lot of good back and forth through the chat. I really appreciate that. And, if you guys think of any topics you want us to talk about next week, please let me know in the comments. Okay, please like, share, subscribe. Click on the notification bell so you can see notifications when we go live again. And that way you'll know right away. Okay. And so, thanks for coming out with us. And hope you guys get more smiles per gallon with your van. We will see you guys again next week. All right, have a great weekend.